anything that you write while you are working on your story is story, but it is not necessarily plot. It might not end up in the final draft, but that doesn't mean you wasted it. Hi, friends. I'm recording this week's episode from my writing retreat. So this is a trip that I take so far every year. This is our third year in a row with my writing incubator clients. So we started out with a group of 11 this week, including me. Kathy had to go home for her daughter's birthday, which we understand, even though the loss of Kathy has been devastating. It's been amazing. I don't know how we keep doing this. It's been 3 years in a row where we get roughly 10 people together in a house and nothing bad happens. We're all just chill. We're all just kind of being neurodivergent in our own ways. And it's so nice. So far. So the first year, I'm just going to take you on a little journey here. The first year I wanted to be really serious. So I planned out writing workshops every day. Every day we did a workshop and a creative activity. The second year, I got COVID. So we did not do any activities. I stayed in my room. The rest of everybody hung out and worked on their books and had a great time together. And apparently no harm, no foul. That was a big one for me. I was like, why aren't you people mad at me that I brought COVID here? And they're like, you can't help it. You did everything that you were supposed to do. You took a test, you were negative. That's on you. You can't intuit deeply that you have pre-COVID. And that was crazy for me. That actually created a really big mental shift. That people aren't mad at you for as much as you think they might have reason to be mad at you, which is pretty wild for somebody with OCD. So that was fun. And it gave me a lot to think about. And I was like, oh, these people love me. These people assume the best of me. They do not assume malicious intent. And that set a little piece of me free because I really did have anxiety that every single thing I do in this world has the potential to make people hate me. And that's fucked up, friends. That is not normal. That is not how we are supposed to feel. I need to just do 1,000-yard stare. Me and Jared are working on that one. I'm not going to unpack that one here for all of us. But something else related to my trauma that I do want to unpack here with you is that I reread my entire first draft. Now, I brought with me 5 printed manuscripts. Well, 1 printed manuscript and 5 increasingly smaller drafts of my book that I stopped because I was like, I don't know how this shit works. And I realized that rather than writing a plot that I could sprinkle some of my lived experience into, I wrote my lived experience and then tried to fit a plot on it. That's not gonna work, Kate. That's not gonna work. I guess it could work if you were really dedicated, but I was trying to make it into a story and a narrative and something that wasn't about me anymore. And I was still trying to be but it was so much fun to write the first draft. It was so easy to write the first draft. Well, yeah, because it was basically a diary entry that you threw a little time travel on. So now my task as an author in revision is to create a compelling story that is not about me. If it was a memoir, it would be about me. And I can be hinted at. The ghost of my lived experience can be present in this story. But for me to really I feel like I emotionally processed what I needed to emotionally process. And since then, I have been trying to triage the plot itself. But so much of that original plot was tied to the fact that it was a lot of my story. And that has also been freeing in a way. And what's weird is I don't feel like I wasted any time. A lot of my clients, when we talk about first draft energy and just get it down, its only job is to be there. You are sketching. You are shoveling sand into sandcastles or shoveling sand into a bucket so that later you can make sandcastles. That's a Jordan Peele quote, even though I fucked it up. A lot of the concern is, but what if I wrote this for nothing? And that's basically impossible. Unless you just go off on a tangent and you're I wrote this little fanfic about Mickey Mouse and Goofy getting it on at the clubhouse. Like, Disney, don't sue me. Like, you can go take a little jaunt that is not related to your story if you want, but I think anything that you write while you are working on your story is story, but it is not necessarily plot. And this is a quote that somebody said during Novel Parkour, which I ran a few weeks ago in September. Was it September? It doesn't matter. I think it was September. Time flies when you're ADHD. So somebody said that quote, and I don't remember who the original person is, but I trust that we're going to find that for you. So it's all relevant to the story, to the world that you are building, to the character backgrounds that you are developing. This is all important work. It might not end up in the final draft, but that doesn't mean you wasted it. Your job as a writer is not to write, to weave like a spider the perfect draft right out of the gate. You got to get all your own personal shit out of it, I guess, if you're me, and then come back in and shape it and be like, okay, that part was just for me. This was my intention when I printed out my manuscripts, is I wanted to read them and figure out what is essential to the story that I wanted to tell and what was just for me, and I don't need that anymore. Because there's a lot in that second category. There is more than I would like to admit, but it's just a neutral fact. There it is. A lot of things in there were just for Caitlin, and that's okay. It's good, actually. I'm proud of that. Like, I took the emotional weight of my childhood traumas and I turned them into a somewhat compelling story. And that's cool. That's cool for me. But that's not necessarily the one that I want to like be pitching to publishers. That's too personal. And so I think that's where this block, because I've been blocked on this story for like 3 years. Yes, I'm a writing coach and I'm totally blocked on my own novel. So what I've been working on for like the last few years since I wrote this first draft that felt so effortless has been trying to like reshape it into a compelling narrative, like a plot that works, a plot, not necessarily a plot that will sell, because you write the story that's on your heart, and the fact that the passion is in it is what helps it sell. If you're just trying to write a best-selling product, it doesn't have the same like heart in it, you know? It's sort of like the AI and shitification of things where it's like, oh, we fed all these scripts to a bot and then it just regurgitated some crap. Like, you can do that. Please don't use ChatGPT. Don't touch ChatGPT. ChatGPT doesn't go here. Also, I am surely coming at you from this retreat like 10 minutes after I woke up. So my hair's a mess. But I forgot it was Wednesday and I needed to get this over to my crew. Oh, writing the story that's like on your heart versus trying to write a product. The best example I can give you of that is Marvel movies. So like before the MCU became a thing and it was just like, we made an Iron Man movie. Like, there was a lot more human touch and human heart in that movie. And then when they were like, oh, no, we are sitting on a cash cow. We're going to do this whole cinematic universe. We're going to get the whole Avengers in here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then the movies started becoming products to sell as opposed to like really human stories that would connect with people. And that's not necessarily bad. Like, go Marvel, get your bag. But that's not what you need to compare yourself to as a writer, as a creative, as a storyteller, as a screenwriter, as a musician. Musician, that's another one. So like Taylor Swift knows how to create a best-selling top Billboard Top 100 pop song. Like, she knows how to write a hit. There's a formula that she follows to write a hit, and that's fine. And she does still put a lot of herself into her lyrics, I guess. I don't know. The Swifties are a lot lately. Do not come to me, Swifties. There is no quarter here. I have no horse in this race. I'm just giving you my bland fucking observations from this side of the Taylor Swift phenomenon. And it's that like you can be a talented lyricist and still like leverage your billions in a way that is pretty antithetical to ethics. Antithetical. That's fine. Maybe we should take out this whole Taylor Swift chunk. No, I'm not afraid of you, Swifties. Taylor Swift is fine, is what I'm saying. She's fine. I don't think she needs to win like a Pulitzer or a Nobel Peace Prize. What else am I learning here? This retreat has been so good and so restorative. And we just get along well. Like I would say it feels like a family, but girl, it's not how my family feels. I would be like trying to run away into the woods if I had been here for this long with my own biological family, let me tell you. But we are a bunch of people who care about each other, who respect each other, who want each other to be having a good time. And so we're all encouraging and we all listen and we're playing games. Like we're not just writing. That's what I was talking about earlier, that I planned a bunch of workshops the first year. I got COVID the second year. And then this year, it's been a bit of both. Like we are doing activities. And even though they are not specifically about writing, they have been very creative. So on Monday, we did a murder mystery and it was amazing. And I found out that a lot of my friends over here in this group are very good actors, like creepy good actors. So basically all of my friends lied to my face for like 3 hours and it was a great fun. And I think I figured out a little bit more of why I don't love role playing. And it's because I don't like having to withhold information. Like, I don't like having to keep track of like what I can and can't say. I like just being able to go around and like tell the truth and talk to people and share my real opinion. And I don't like faking that. I'm too autistic for role play, but I can learn because it was pretty fun, honestly. I had a good time. It was a good low stakes time. And I didn't figure out who the murderer was, but that's fine because I don't have to. We're just here to have fun, just like you're here to write your story for fun. Crazy. So I was a perfectionist about that too. Interesting. And then yesterday we did unhinged PowerPoints. I mentioned I'm filming this on Wednesday, so it is October, 15th? Wednesday, October 15th as I record this. This episode's going to come out on Friday. So on Tuesday of the retreat, we all gave an unhinged PowerPoint. And let me tell you, a lot of us have ADHD, and these were supposed to be 10 minutes. They weren't 10 minutes. But they were fascinating. So we learned a lot about each other's interests and passions. I learned about 1830s fashion. I learned about different kinds of monster genitalia. I learned about the squonk, which is a cryptid. I learned about X-Men, the Krakoa era, and Dragonheart, movie versus book. The importance of small talk, which was a much more compelling presentation than you probably might imagine. What else did we have? We did a chocolate tasting. That was really fun and delicious and chocolatey. I know we had more. Oh, Jess and I, my sibling, and I did a presentation on why Bob's Burgers is top tier television. That was pretty amazing. And, audio description. So Kelly, one of our writers, is an audio describer for visually impaired people. So like they work for a theater and they will like watch the play and then write their own audio script to basically like in the margins between when like lines are happening and songs are going and all this stuff, they will on their script be like, a woman in a blue dress approaches the stage, like to let people know what's happening. And that was really fascinating. There's a lot of like planning and prep work and like timing and engineering that goes into successful audio description. Didn't know that. Learned a lot. It was like a special interest fest, honestly, and I really liked it. That might be a fun idea for like the Creatives Rebellion and the Patreon. Just sort of rotate like a show and tell of tell us about your special interest spotlights. That could be so cute. I'm trying to like go around the room and think of who else was there. We ended on a presentation of Hear Me Outs, which got increasingly or decreasingly hinged. We started the Hear Me Outs with like Willem Dafoe, Steve Buscemi. Okay, I'll hear you out, I guess. And then we got into like Mike Wazowski and Santa and Doodle Bob from SpongeBob. And I'll be honest, we were horrified, but we were also deeply amused. So 10 out of 10. I hope I didn't forget anybody. I'm sure that I did as I'm like trying to go through mentally. Bob's Burgers, that was 2 people. X-Men, Dragonheart, audio description, 1830s fashion, chocolate, monster genitals, squonk, small talk, and Hear Me Out. No, that was all of them. I did it. Anyway, today we're going to eat ramen and watch K-pop Demon Hunters. And then tomorrow's our last full day together and we go home on Friday. And I'm already sad. Like, I'm literally just already sad. So, if you don't already have a creative community, you should get one because this is life altering. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love it so much. And now I'm gonna go eat breakfast. Okay, I love you. Bye.
They'll change your approach and tell you a joke to lighten your load and help you along or sing you a song. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.